So, Premier Panton, you're in the UK at COP26. Tell us how things have gone so far for you.
Okay, well, I think Glasgow has thanked us very much for coming because they have said that we brought several days of really nice weather. The prediction was we're going to have bad weather here, but it's been relatively sunny, blue skies, and very nice. Yeah, it has gone really well. It has gone really well. It has been such an immense pleasure to be here to help support the young people from Cayman who were there to have their voices heard. And it was amazing to be able to listen to representatives from across the Caribbean, and personalities around the world that have spoken about these issues for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really has been excellent. And I think there's a lot of progress. Now the question is, do words become actions? And
Right.
it is actions that matter, because we don't have any more time to lose. I think Mia Motley from Barbados did an excellent job of articulating what the risks are for us in the Caribbean and what sort of impacts we're concerned about. And obviously, you know, we understand that things have to be organized, but the truth is we don't have the time to waste. As she said, we got to try harder, and we got to try harder now. We have to work this out now. We have to take the actions because this generation of leaders, this generation of business owners, this generation who basically contribute to running the world, need to make sure that our legacy, our collective legacy, is one that is positive and one that provides a sustainable future for our children and their children. And the time is now to make sure that happens.
Okay. Premier Panton, can you just kind of reiterate or state the obvious about the importance of the Cayman Islands being represented at this convention?
Well, it is very important for Cayman to have a voice here. We are a part of the Caribbean region. We have a lot of representation from CARICOM. Mr. Brown was here. Mia Motley was here. The Prime Minister from Jamaica was here, Andrew Holness. So we've had a lot of representation from the Caribbean, a lot of representation from small island states like ours. And we're the ones that are going to feel it first, and we're the ones that are going to end up suffering the most. So therefore, we have an obligation to be here and make sure that our voices are heard. And I'm very pleased to be here supporting the young people that we have that care about these issues, that are standing up and speaking out for all young people in the Cayman Islands who don't have the opportunity to come here and speak out and have their voices heard. It is really, really important for Cayman to be represented and for me to be here to show government's commitment and support on issues like this.
Premier Panton, we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected everyone across the globe, one extent to the other, and it is the most happening thing right now. But let's be real. Climate change is, it's the long-term effects of climate change. We don't know where that's going to lead us. So what would you say to the average person listening from here in Cayman? What would you say to them to encourage them to do their part in fighting climate change?
Right. Well, the truth is, the current pandemic, the current COVID set of circumstances really has a finite term. It is not going to continue to be the difficulty that it has been for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Climate change is something that is an existential risk to Cayman, to mankind, and that is why we have to care about it. Because even though the major consequences of it may be 2 or 3 or 4 decades away, if we don't do something about it now,
Mm-hmm.
we will lose the opportunity to do anything about it. So while COVID is something that we have to care about right now, we have to make sure that we do everything we can to protect people and to help our society. That is really a temporary issue. At the end of the day, if we don't have a planet to live on, we have nothing else. COVID won't matter. Any other temporary thing won't matter. This is a permanent issue that we have to make sure we get it right, and we owe it to the future to do so, to do everything we can. And Cayman has to do its part. Right now, our per capita contribution to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is around 12.4 tons per capita, and that is higher than many other big countries that are pumping out way more than their share too. So we've on a per capita basis, we need to reduce that down to somewhere around 4.8 tons, and as quickly as possible, so that at least we have the credibility of saying, listen, we've done our share. We expect you and the rest of the world to do your share too, so that small island states and low-lying countries like ours and our children have an opportunity to continue to exist and continue to have the kind of life that we have all grown up with.
Premier Panton, just as we wrap up, I know that our environment has been very near and dear to your heart for a very long time, being the former Minister for Environment, now the Minister for Sustainability and Resilience. Why are you so passionate about our environment here in Cayman?
I think, Donna, without even realizing it, and honestly, it's been probably just a few years that in thinking back, I realized that my first job was in tourism. My first job was diving. I didn't see it as a job. I ended up being a dive master. I was a dive instructor. I spent afternoons after school. It was an incredible world that was so beautiful, so majestic, and it really underscored exactly why people love coming to Cayman. And it's not just the underwater world, though. It's our terrestrial environment as well. And I feel that's such an inherent part of who we are as Caymanians and who we are as a jurisdiction, that we have to fight for it. We have to preserve it. We have to do everything we can to ensure that it doesn't degrade further, and that we support it so that we maintain it forever. If we lose that, I feel like we lose a part of who we are. We lose a part of our national psyche, which basically means we lose a part of our soul. And I'm sorry, that's how I see it.
Yeah. Any final words from your Panton?
Yeah. You look wonderful. It has been a great time here at COP for a few days. I mean, it has been a short period of time, but I have met some amazing people, had some really inspiring conversations. Yes, there are times when you feel a sense of mixed emotions. You feel a sense of hopelessness, but I think the inspiration comes from young people. The inspiration comes from the indigenous peoples that have traveled all the way from Peru and from Brazil to come here and hold their hands up and say in their native languages, help us, because this is who we are, and the natural world that we want to live in and preserve is important for all of us. Places like the Amazon are known as the lungs of the planet. It's because it takes in carbon dioxide at night. The plants use carbon dioxide to create food, and they emit. They do that in the daytime. They emit oxygen at night, and that's why they call it the lungs of the planet. We have to have a natural environment, a natural ecosystem which is in balance, in order to have a planet that is habitable for all of us. So, one of the things that I attended today with Prince Charles, which was incredibly inspiring for me, was he has a project called Terra Carta, and he has these Terra Carta awards that he gives out to companies that have been involved in his sustainable management initiative. And seeing hundreds of CEOs and chairmen of some of the biggest companies in the world there, all committing to reducing their carbon outputs, and going for zero carbon over a short period of time, and really pushing sustainability across every aspect of their business. That gives me hope, And seeing somebody like Prince Charles so committed to this issue. I mean, he's a royal. He doesn't have to care about these things, but he does, and he does very passionately. And just seeing all of that, and it's really, really inspiring. So I'm coming away feeling very happy and very inspired, and very happy that I came and made the effort to come and support our young people here and support the NGOs that they're involved with, and to be a part of the Caribbean voice in Glasgow at COP26, saying what needs to be said. We have um, we have a life. We have countries that are at risk if we continue to pump out um, too much carbon dioxide, too much greenhouse gases, and we have a beautiful marine environment that if we go to 1.5 degrees or higher, we might lose 90% of it or more. And that is just, to me, that is incomprehensible. It would be inconsolable to lose, our beautiful marine environment. So that's why, it's something that I'm very passionate about. But I think it's more than just a passion. It's not a hobby. It's something that I think is inherently valuable to our existence and who we are and our ultimate success as a country. So I dedicated the time to come here and do that because I believe it's really, really important for our country and for the young people in particular.
Premier Panton, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your time there and be safe.
Thank you, Donna. I really appreciate it. Trying to be safe, and I'll be home very shortly.
Okay.
Take care.
Talk soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.